Hi, everybody. We try to eat as much wild food as we can. The way I see it, wild food is better than food that we grow in the garden because we have to use all kinds of fossil fuels and stuff uh, to get a garden ready. And then our garden is better than going to the grocery store because there's so many, you know, middlemen in the way, each collecting a little money. And so, what we try to do here is first we forage and then we farm. And so, one of the great sources of nutrition on almost anyone's land around here are the walnuts. And this is what a walnut looks like in the husk. And so, you might see these up in the tree still. When they get ready to collect, they'll fall on the ground. We don't pick them out of the trees ever. We wait for them to fall. That way we know they're mature. Now this is just a little bit smaller than a baseball, maybe the size of an average tennis ball. And that's what we're looking for. We have about a dozen walnut trees around here, but we really don't like to pick up the small ones. They tend to be duds a little more often than the bigger ones do. So what I do is I just go around and pick up the nice big ones. And if they've been around for a while, the fruit inside the husk turns black, and my hands are already stained from picking up the ones that are more that have fallen more recently, and they have a kind of a yellow dye in them. But if you let them hang around too long, that dye turns black. Okay, so this one has broken open, and you can probably see it's already turning black inside. So, I don't want to waste this. This is a part of the great cycle of life here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw it in the brush and hope that, 1 out of 5 of those will turn into big walnut trees someday. Come on in here a little bit closer and you'll see that we have all kinds of them left in the trees. And they'll fall soon. Probably by the time November rolls around, we'll be ready to start cracking them. Okay, so once we have the walnuts gathered in the husk, we generally put them out on our little gravel road here. And the deal is that our friend Dana from Boone, North Carolina, was telling us about this method. You set these out on the road, and then I like to do it on my tractor because I can see the wheels really well. But you just drive over them, mashes the husks off. The walnut itself is wood and thick, and so it's not like the walnut. Black walnuts aren't like the walnuts you buy in the store. It's got a much harder shell. So I can drive over these, mash the husks off, and then collect the walnut. So once I have the husks mashed off, I can take the walnuts out and try to get as much of the material off as I can. And well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these husks over here to fill in a hole. I can get ahead of the walnut maggots. And the thing is that, I've described the walnut shell already. They're wood, they're thick, and you can drive a car right over them. But These walnut maggots eat the material inside the husk, and they're kind of gross. I don't like touching them. It doesn't bother me too much, but that's just another reason why to try to get a fresh one. But this is the messy part of the job, and through the month of October, my hands are stained, and there's just no way of getting around it if you're going to do walnuts in any quantity. Some people use rubber gloves and stuff like that, but I find that it just makes the job a lot tougher. And you know, I don't mind having black hands. People just think I'm a car mechanic or something, I guess. But yeah, this is the icky part of the job, definitely. Now that we have the husks mashed off, what I've done is I've put some water from the creek in my bucket, and I swish them around a little bit, just in a hope to get some more of that gooey material off them so they can dry a little quicker. And now I just take these wet ones and I set them on the curing table. You cure walnuts so the shells get really hard, so they kind of shatter instead of just break, because you don't want to, you work really hard to get the walnut meat out of these shells, and so you don't want to waste any of the walnut meat by crushing it. If you can get the shells to shatter, you can just take the pressure off right when they break open. And yeah, that would probably die close the walnuts. Now, come on over here to the table, and you can see that I try to separate the different batches so I can see how they're doing. Eventually, this whole table, though, will be full of walnuts, and then we'll start cracking.